Hi, you again with First Tempo podcast and Volleyball Explained. And today I'm very glad to have as a guest the Scottish warrior in Sofia, the former volleyball player and today sports teacher, Mark McGivern. Mark, thank you for being here.
Thank you for the very warm introduction. Scottish warrior. I'm not sure much of a warrior these days, but
yeah,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
the Highlander. Yeah. First of all, I believe it will be very interesting for the spectators, for the listeners. How did you start playing volleyball? Because I truly believe that in Scotland, volleyball is not the most popular sport.
That's true. It's not even the second most popular, third, fourth, fifth most popular sport. I don't know if you know the climate in Scotland, but it rains a lot and it's wet outside. And I can still remember the day now. Was in secondary school, and I had new trainers on, and I didn't want to go and play football with my new trainers because it was raining and it was wet. And I said, okay, I decided one lunchtime to go inside and play volleyball with the sports teachers, and just took it on from there. So thanks to the Scottish weather, I started in volleyball.
And you said it's not even the how did you put in order the popular sports in Scotland?
Okay, so you've got football, number one, rugby, popular, golf, snooker, darts, dominoes, basketball. Yeah, basketball's high up there as well, and then volleyball will be last in the list, I think. But
and tennis probably also.
Yeah, more popular now with Andy Murray, or when he was in his prime. So volleyball's quite low. I was just fortunate enough that my school teachers were interested in volleyball, so that's how we just luckily that they ran a school lunchtime volleyball club, so every day we would go in and play some volleyball.
Yeah, and connected to that, actually, you're only, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're only one of 12 volleyball players, British, to play in the Olympics, actually, in London. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah. There was 12 of us. Yeah, there was the
only participation of Great Britain.
Yeah,
due to the hosting the Olympics.
Of course, yeah, we had that free ticket. I mean, we still had to reach certain targets that were set by us. I don't think they were very high. I can't remember exactly now. I remember we beat China, which was a big expectation. And then, we were allowed to continue into the Olympic Games with that free ticket of hosting the Olympics.
And you played actually against Bulgaria in Earl's Court in London. What do you remember from this match?
I remember it was early. It was very early in the morning. It was like I think it was 9:30 first ball served. And for the days leading up to this, we would wake up early, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, to eat breakfast, to practice early, to get used to playing volleyball. Because, as you're probably aware, you're not normally playing volleyball at 9 o'clock in the morning. Your body wakes up, it takes you all day to get ready, and then you practice or play in the afternoons, evenings. So we took some time to get used to that. But it was always going to be difficult against not just Bulgaria, but all the nations that were involved in the Olympics.
Yeah, especially for the Bulgarian team is very, let's say it in this way, that it's very hard for us to play typically early in the morning, and as long as I remember, all 6 games should have been played in one day. So that means that you have the first match started in something like, 11 o'clock here, so 9 o'clock, 9:30 in London, and the last match was around midnight here. So
exactly. And from this game, I remember, I think maybe I had an attack. Bulgaria played defense. Then I don't remember exactly how we won the point, but we won the point, and I went back to serve. and my first service was an ace. This is what I remember from this game. But I remember walking out, because this is the biggest crowd that I've ever played in front of, was 15,000 supporters. And I remember thinking, wow, okay, now we're actually here, because we had a long time leading up, because I was involved from the very start. So 5 years prior, okay, there's an opportunity to go to the Olympic Games. It's in 5 years' time. Okay, it's a long time away. Don't worry about it. And then very quickly was walking out in front of 15,000 at Earls Court. It was quite, it was a surreal moment.
Yeah, and I especially mentioned that match against Bulgaria because you played just until last year. You played 3 years in Bulgaria in Levski, but actually I checked that you are not the first British player to play here. I saw, I believe also Jason Holland playing in CSKA.
That's
And
right, yeah.
And how the contact was realized between you and Levski, because you played with Vodonikov before in France?
Exactly, yeah. That was the contact.
Yeah.
And so I was playing in France, and I'd spoken to him maybe the Christmas before, maybe, I don't remember exactly the time, and said that I wasn't really happy. We spoke about it. We never spoke about coming to Bulgaria at this point. And then I think it was around August of the same year, or of the next year. And he said that he was looking for a middle blocker with some experience. Would I be interested in coming to Bulgaria? And I said, okay, let me speak with my wife, because it's a big change after living in France for 8 years to come to Bulgaria. But it was a quick conversation. We said, yeah, okay, let's do it. Now's the time. I'm almost at the end. Let's experience something different. And then things moved very, very quickly. We had a quick discussion with Vlado and the members of the board at Levski, and yeah, things moved pretty fast.
And what were your expectations before that from Bulgaria, and how did you assess? I mean, in terms of let's start with the level of the league before that, and now from with the benefit of hindsight, now what do you think about the level of the Bulgarian league?
When I spoke with Vlado, he said that the league was getting better. I didn't really come in with any expectations of what it would be like. The volleyball, the players that I played with in France were obviously a good level. They were not playing in the league at the time, but I knew that the level would be of a good standard. On hindsight, looking back now, yeah, every year it's progressed. Teams are getting better. Teams are getting more professional. There's more money involved now. Foreign players, although there's maybe a little less foreign players now than there was 2, 3, 4 years ago when I first came to the league. The high level older Bulgarian players are playing here and still playing at a very good level. So obviously the level's raised again. So yeah, I've not watched much volleyball in the last year, but from what I've seen, the level has been good.
Yeah, actually, this at least in my opinion, this tendency for better Bulgarians, for if not only better, but actually the best Bulgarian players who are aging to come back and play in the Bulgarian league again, started in these years, 2018, 19, around and after the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know, if you have a professional, obviously in Scotland and UK, we don't have a professional league. But if you have a professional league on your doorstep and you have the opportunity to come back home to your home and still play professional, I think it would be very interesting.
Yeah, and I mentioned Vodonikov, you played with him. You played also with Todor Soparov, with Vladislav Ivanov, another Bulgarian liberals. Yeah. Can you name a dream team of players you have played with?
That I have played with? Wow. Okay. It's good. I've played with a lot of good setters. I played with Simon Tischer German national team player. I played with he's a really good friend of mine now, Javier Gonzalez. He played in Cuneo. I'm not sure if he played with Vlado at the time. Very good friends. So I would take Gonzalez. Gonzalez would be my setter. He's my brother, so I would take him. Opposite would be Vlado for sure. Even at the end of his career was just amazing to play with, and the knowledge that he has, just every day in practice, just information. It's such a privilege to play with someone who was so talented, so gave so much to the sport. So yeah, he would be my opposite. Libero, I think I have to go with Salparov. Ivanov again, also very good libero, but for me, Salparov was just different class. He was always in the right position, always positive, really good guy. So yeah, reception. I played with a Canadian. Probably going back to the time in France when we played in Lyon together with Vlado. We had a Canadian guy, Ton van Langveld. He played the Canadian national team. He was just a monster in block. Ripped the service. Again, good guy, great on the court. I would have him as my reception player. Second reception would be... Oh, I couldn't even tell you now. Second reception player. Again, this year we had a Brazilian guy, very technical in reception. Leo. Now I don't know how to pronounce his second name. Leo Mineiro. He played with the Brazilian national team, but a long time ago, played some games for his national team. Other middle blocker. Possibly Jason Haldane, played with him with the national team. Is that my 6?
Yeah.
My 7?
Yeah, and the other 7.
Okay.
Yeah. And last year you retired, but you decided with your family to stay here. Why? I'm very, let's say it in this way, that a lot of people in Bulgaria, at least some people in Bulgaria, are a little bit nihilistic. So we are complaining all the time but there are a lot of foreigners like you that stay here and they like Sofia, they like Bulgaria. Why did you decide to stay here?
First of all, we were very comfortable. The family was comfortable here. We enjoyed our time here whilst I was playing. We've moved around quite a lot. And again, like I said, we were happy here, so we were happy to stay. I mean, we don't know for how long that we will stay, but we are happy. And I mean, the complaining part, I think anywhere you go, everybody complains. You complain when it's too hot, you complain when it's too cold, everything. So yeah, no, we were happy, we were comfortable. My children were happy in school. My wife is working in a kindergarten part-time, and she teaches privately in the afternoons, so it was good. And then the opportunity came up to teach here in a private school. So yeah, everything just kind of fell into place. Initially, when I was told that I wasn't going to be staying at Levski, I still felt good physically, but the idea to move around for one more year to somewhere else, to move the family somewhere, didn't really sit well. So yeah, no, it was kind of time to retire.
Yeah. And you're a sports teacher in the American college. Can you tell us a little bit about your work as a teacher?
Yeah, I take sports class, physical education. I'm teaching 8th and 9th grade in the college. I work with a lot of children every day, just delivering sports classes, getting children active, because as you're probably aware, it's quite an academic school. But just trying to raise the level of the sport, get the children moving, de-stress a little, because it is quite a stressful environment, and just to make the kids more confident and moving and being themselves.
And Do you have a volleyball team in the ninth grade? Because I saw that since the ninth grade they're having volleyball or as a team.
Well, so I came in just after the pandemic. So when things started to move back onto campus, and we never started. There was a volleyball team practices before the pandemic, but then coming back, we started with boys and girls. Unfortunately, we haven't had any games outside the college yet because last year was still the Ministry of Education still had what's the word? We couldn't move outside of the school.
Yeah, there were some restrictions for sure. Yeah.
Exactly, there was restrictions in place that we couldn't move outside. So hopefully this year we can do some games outside with other schools. But yeah, no, the kids enjoy it. They're really excited for volleyball. We have a large number of boys and girls that want to practice, and we also host internal tournaments, intramural tournaments. And this year there's been a record registration of 16 teams. So yeah, it's a popular sport within the school.
Yeah, and can you tell us how actually is structured there's university and school sports in Great Britain, in Scotland, especially because we all know that the structure in the US, in Bulgaria, it's not working that well. So high schools and universities are not that much of a basis for professional sport. Do you think that can improve?
I mean, I think it can improve everywhere. We can always have more sport. I like it when the kids are active. I mean, in America's in a world of its own when it comes to school sports, and I think that's the goal. That's the pinnacle of school university sports. I mean, in the UK, it's not similar to the US. It's they don't do seasonal sports, so you have to pick and choose your sport, what sport you want to take part or what sport you want to specialize in. Again, it comes down to football, rugby, basketball. Yeah,
and my last question is, can you make a comparison between Bulgarians and Scottish people in terms of mentality, character? Because in terms of music, we are only two of choice to have the bagpipe. But what do you think about mentality?
I think both. I think the word I would use is resilient. Scottish people are resilient, and from what I've came across so far in my time here, is Bulgarians are resilient as well. From what I've seen, from who I've been around. So yeah, we're both resilient.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, it was a very big pleasure for me to have this conversation with you, and I would like to wish you a lot of success and brave and passionate for sports children in the school. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. I hope you're going to put some subtitles at the bottom of this. I'm not sure many people will understand the Scottish.
I don't think it would be needed. I believe that. I mean, honestly, I have some problems but not with you. I mean, I don't know what is the reason, but with people like, I don't know, Alex Ferguson or John Higgins or I don't know, Stephen Maguire, much harder.
Yeah, this comes from living abroad for 15 years and having to repeat myself a lot of times because people don't understand. Yeah, so I try and speak a little slower.
Probably that's the reason, because especially because I like also snooker a lot, and I have watched and listened to a lot of interviews, so it's much harder then. Much difficult, much more difficult to understand in their interviews. But taking into account that you are playing abroad so many times, so probably it's a little bit softer now. Thanks
Okay.
thanks again.
No, well,
And,
thank you
yeah,
for having me. Thanks for showing an interest. And yeah, anytime you want a conversation,
thank you.
I'm here.
And thank you again to all the spectators or to the listeners for watching us or listening to us in the podcast platforms. And I hope you're going to do it also the next time. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and watch us also the next time. Bye-bye.